Fort Solis is a narrative-driven adventure game developed by Fallen Leaf and Black Drakkar Games and published by Dear Villagers that traps players in a claustrophobic outpost on Mars. The majority of the story focuses on Jack Leary, a gruff-voiced engineer who finds himself caught in a storm of trouble after he responds to an out-of-the-ordinary distress call from, you guessed it, Fort Solis. The 4-hour journey that follows his investigation is tense, as players are tasked with slowly walking through cramped tunnels and unforgiving alien storms in hopes of finding the outpost's crew. This stressful sci-fi tour depends on its story's ability to capture and keep your attention, and that dependence mostly pays off. Across Fort Solis's 4 chapters, you'll find messy living areas, research labs littered with notes, and unkept bedrooms that help illustrate just how far the outpost has fallen. A nice list of video and audio notes, as well as the odd knick-knack and collectible, then help connect the dots, resulting in a once-lived-in outpost that feels authentically abandoned. Jack's first moments in the lockdown space station are particularly gripping, as you feel as if you just entered Ridley Scott's Alien, but only after everyone was killed. Fort Solis offers an intriguing examination of how we respond to fear, but it would be nothing without its fantastic cast. Jack's laissez-faire attitude is played perfectly by Red Dead Redemption 2's Roger Clark, who nicely balances uneasiness and bravery. The Last of Us star Troy Baker also brings an anxiety-inducing performance as an unhinged individual named Wyatt Taylor. Jack and Wyatt might get the most attention, but Jack's crewmate Jessica Appleton, played by Julia Brown, might be the real show stealer. I cared most about her place in the story, as her banter with Jack kept things grounded while giving me some chuckle-worthy highlights. While I always felt encouraged to continue, I felt unsatisfied by the time I reached the narrative's conclusion. That's mostly due to an abrupt ending, as well as some character decisions that I was never quite sold on. I also need to call out the QuickTime events, which, regardless of success or failure, seem to have no impact on the experience. In a game that otherwise avoids artificially creating tension, inconsequential QTEs feel especially disappointing. Fort Solis's sublime presentation does make it a bit easier to forget about its shortcomings. Built with Unreal Engine 5, the already killer performances find life thanks to top-notch facial animations and character models. The music, meanwhile, is only used with purpose, arriving in moments where it can be most effective. If it wasn't for one glaring issue, playing Fort Solis in one sitting would be an easy feat. With no dialogue options or puzzles to solve, Fort Solis is proudly a walking sim, but sometimes I wish it wasn't. Long walks through Mars's harsh weather are begging for a quicker movement option. Backtracking through sections later in the game can be a slog, and I fear for players who get lost when wandering around the outpost. I know the ability to even lightly jog through sandstorms could harm the pace of the story and bring its length down even further, but I can't imagine that a quicker movement option would do more harm than good. I enjoyed my time with Fort Solis's story, despite the issues that really take the wind from its sails. Fallen Leaf and Black Drakkar have created a gripping and imperfect adventure that had me entertained for hours, but now that I've been to Fort Solis, I don't think I'll be going back anytime soon. Fort Solis is out now for $24.99 on PC and $29.99 on PlayStation 5.